Hey, Oz.
Hey, Curtis.
What movie we watching this week?
Oh, we've got the love child of a movie marriage today. We have Man on Wire with Dark City
Okay.
with a sprinkling of just cosplay. This week we are covering 1989's Tim Burton masterpiece?
Sure.
Batman. So...
Dark City, pretty good, because it's literally a very dark movie.
I know exactly. Like even during the day, it's overcast.
Yeah, it's can't rain all the time. No, actually, it can in Gotham City.
Yeah, it can. It can.
It can and does.
It was very, very dark. Man on Wire was like, there's just like Batman's always hanging from something.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I almost went with Joseph Gordon-Levitt basically did the Man on Wire was like a French documentary about like a tightrope walker.
Yeah.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt did a more dramatic, movie about where the guy like did the tightrope between the Twin Towers. And, is that guy. But I was like, Man on Wire. My first thought was Bird on a Wire, just for but I'm like, no.
For a split second, that's actually what my brain told me was Bird on a Wire. It's like I don't remember Goldie Hawn in this, but that's okay.
Right. There's no Mel G, but no, Man on Wire, Dark City with plenty of cosplay. This is a very cosplayable movie.
It is. Great costumes. Yeah.
Great costumes, but also like fairly simple costumes.
Yes.
Like just Batman's cowl. You can tell it's just rubber.
Yeah. Because it's all head and torso. Just
Right. Turn the whole body.
Yep. Gotta get those shoulders around every time you want to look someplace else.
Oh, welcome back, listeners and viewers, to another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, the podcast where we talk about a movie that fits a theme that we come up with. We are in complete creative control of our destinies here on
Yes,
this
we
show.
are.
I'm one of your hosts, Oz.
And I am Curtis.
And we are here to talk about 1989's Michael Keaton. Nope. Jack Nicholson's movie.
There you go, because he got top billing. Contractually,
Yeah,
he got top billing.
As did Schwarzenegger a few years later.
Yeah.
The Jack Nicholson movie, Batman, where he plays the Joker. I did read in a review that one person was like, this, it's basically this was Kim Basinger's movie. And Batman and Joker were just kind of like extras in the movie. And I'm like, I don't know if I agree about that. But,
yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I don't know if Vicky Vale could carry the movie.
Although this was almost Sean Young's movie.
It was. I do remember that being a thing. The yellow-eyed replicant herself.
Yep.
Sean Young.
Or of Stripes fame, Sean Young.
She went a little cuckoo at times. Like around this time, what was it? This movie that there was one movie where like she didn't get the role, but like she just kept showing up. Like I'm going to change your mind on this.
Yeah,
and,
that rings a bell,
but
I don't think it was this.
I don't think it was
like
this
she
one
broke
either.
her collarbone like training for this movie or something like that.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but there was one where they couldn't keep her away. So I guess we'll do the old YouTube thing. If you do know what movie Sean Young was trying to stick around for, just throw it in the comments below because I can't remember it. And
or if you are Sean Young and you just remember yourself.
Right, right. Even
comment below and
yeah. But now, even if you're Sean Young's brother Steve, just share it down below.
Take some time off your Southpaw throws Jerry Rice.
Yeah, right. Or if you were Sean's Uncle Bert and you want to share down below.
or his great-great-grandfather Cy.
Right.
Well, we can keep going with this, but that's our other podcast, Pointless References.
Yeah, so if you want to comment below any other Youngs that you know.
Yes.
So, before we get too far and before we get back on track,
yes,
let's throw a shout out to Patreon subscribers Don S and Melissa L.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patronage. We do appreciate the little bit that you throw at us. The you toss it into our virtual guitar cases so that we can continue singing our subway songs.
Yep. Sometimes I take that Patreon money in pennies and then just throw it over my head and let it shower down upon me.
Right. I throw all of it up at once.
Yeah.
And it pelts me in the face.
it hurts, but it reminds me of why we do what we do.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Money hurts.
It should.
All right. So Batman, 1989. We're looking at 23 years since the last week's movie.
Yes.
The more colorful, the more vibrant Batman. Things got real dark in Gotham.
They did. It's, I guess we said before, very overcast in Gotham.
Yeah.
Not a lot of sunshine.
Buildings got a lot taller too.
Mm-hmm. A lot of gargoyles. They added a lot of gargoyles.
But still a lot of Dutch angles. So.
Yes.
That's one thing you could expect in Gotham is the Dutch angle.
The Dutch angle. They're known for their Dutch.
Right.
Gotham was founded by Dutch.
They were, right. Home of the Dutch oven. Any way you want to phrase it.
Imagine that in the bat suit.
It reminds me of Harlan Williams' movie Rocket Man, where he does that in his spacesuit and it swells up because the gas has nowhere to go. So there's my Harlan Williams reference this week.
That's our weekly Harlan Williams reference. For all you Harlan heads out there.
Sometimes you really got to dig below the surface to find it, but there it was, laid out on a silver platter for you.
If you're Harlan Williams, comment below.
Which movie, Harlan, did Sean Young not leave us up for?
Yeah, I don't care about your history. I want to know if you know Harlan Williams about what movie Sean Young flipped out at.
Yeah, that's your assignment, Harlan Williams. Please get back to us in the comments below. Like and subscribe for future Harlan Williams homework assignments. All right. Who do we have as our cast of characters in this Technicolor majesty that we're watching?
It's Oz's week to run with the plot, so I got your characters. I put 8 down, although there's really only 3 that matter.
Yeah.
So, the 3 that matter are the aforementioned headliner, Jack Nicholson.
Right. Not Batman.
No. Jack Nicholson as Joker / Jack Napier, the villain in this movie. And depending on what version of Joker's history you want to go with, that also kind of brings in what they did with the Napier side of the character.
Right.
Then we have the Dark Knight himself, Bruce Wayne / Batman, played by Michael Keaton, who a lot of people didn't like that casting back in the day.
No, because they just looked at him and thought, wait, that's the guy from Mr. Mom.
That's Mr. Mom. How is he going to be the Cape Crusader?
He's going to bend his whoopee. He shouldn't be in this movie.
Bend his whoopee.
That's what the kids said in Mr. Mom.
It's probably been a good 30 years since I've seen Mr. Mom.
Well, next week on the podcast, on Batman Month,
Harlan Williams will bring you...
he'll be our guest next week when we talk about Mr. Mom on our other podcast, Homework with Harlan.
Check it out, folks. Next, we have Vicky Vale, played by Kim Basinger. Kim Basinger. Again, Sean Young originally had the role, but she fell off a horse, quite literally, and they had to call Kim Basinger in at the last minute.
Yeah.
Then we have our 5 supporting characters. I'll go a little quicker with these. We have District Attorney Harvey Dent, played by Billy D. Williams, who unfortunately, as I believe we mentioned last week, did not reprise the role once that baton got passed to Schumacher.
No.
We got Michael Goo playing Alfred Pennyworth.
That's how he pronounces it himself, too.
Yeah, Michael Goo.
What's your name? Goo?
Michael Goo. Well, I don't think it's Guff. G-O-U-G-H.
No. But no, it's just Goo.
Michael Goo, at your service.
Yeah, he pronounces it like he's about to fall off the top of a building. Goo.
Michael Goo. Or like he almost ate some shellfish on accident. Michael Goo.
He thought he saw a ghost and was about to tell you. Michael Goo.
Then we have Alexander Knox, local beat reporter for the Gotham, I don't know, the Gotham Picayune, the Gotham Star, the Gotham Tribune.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Played by...
I think it's just called the Gotham Paper. The Gotham Daily Paper.
He writes for the paper rag. Played by Robert Wool, fresh off the heels of also playing Robert Wool in Bull Durham, and he basically plays Robert Wool in this.
I feel like Robert Wool has been an actor in more podcast video movies than, and I feel like we're constantly
we're always talking
about
Robert Wool. Yeah, because we've done, this is our third Robert Wool movie now. We had going in chronological order from in real time, not the order in which we've done the episodes. We have Bull Durham, which was 88, and then this 89, and then 92's, was it? No, 93's The Bodyguard.
Yeah.
In which he literally played himself.
Yes.
Which
so
was,
we love our Robert Wool.
Yeah. Wool and good should take a...
Tune into our podcast, Hard Vowels with Oz and Curtis.
Wool! Good!
Listen to our 3-2-1s. We're 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1
Good. Commissioner Gordon, played by Pat Hingle of Maximum Overdrive fame.
Oh, yeah.
And he was Gordon 4 times. Nowadays they get big name actors to play Gordon, and then you got Pat Hingle,
hey,
playing Gordon,
and nailed it.
Yeah, across 3 actors, 3 Batmanses, and then finally we have, I can't leave him out, we have Jack Palance playing Carl Grissom, local mobster Carl Grissom.
Right. Yeah.
I think I was Marquise's cousin.
You beat me to it. Yeah, it's Marquise's your cousin. I think.
Yeah. For those of you,
of the French Canadian Grissoms.
Yes. Of our big listener demographic, late '80s to mid '90s baseball fans will love that joke.
Yeah. The defunct Montreal Expo fan base we have is quite large.
Next week, when we're talking about Dunstan checks in, we'll make a Sean Dunstan reference.
Yeah, we will.
All right, that's our cast of 89 Batman characters, Oz. Let's get to the plot.
The plot of 89 Batman. Gotham City is approaching its bicentennial. We're coming up 200 years
since those Dutch founded Gotham City.
Since the Dutch landed on Gotham,
on Gotham Rock.
And the mayor he's got Harvey Dent, district attorney, police commissioner Gordon. We've set our tone.
Yes.
In the next 200 years, I guess. We've waited 200 years, but we're going to work together to make our city safer from mob boss Carl Grissom.
Yeah.
So for the next 200 years, that's going to be their focus. We're going to keep that city slicker at bay.
It just hit me, Oz, that the plot of this movie is kind of similar to the plot of Jaws. And that really is. The mayor of Jaws, we're not shutting this beach down for this ominous threat. And in this movie, the mayor is like, we're not putting off the bicentennial soiree.
Yeah, and ironically, the shark in Jaws was named Carl Grissom. It was
known
fact.
Yeah.
If you listen carefully, you hear him talk about him as Carl, but they call him full name Carl Grissom. So we've got the city deciding that basically Gotham is a mess right now. Mob boss Carl Grissom is taken over for the most part. Organized crime is running rampant, and the Gotham brass are losing their control over the city. Meanwhile, we've got reporter Alexander Knox teaming up with photojournalist Vicky Vale, and they are going to, they are teaming up because they've caught wind of this masked vigilante. Goes by the name of Batman. So Batman 89 is like Baby Bat, really. It's it's not established. Whereas last week's movie, Batman was already part of the team.
Yes.
He had already made those connections. He was already working with law enforcement to fight crime. The Rogues Gallery was already there. There's no Rogues Gallery in this one. It's really Carl Grissom and his organized crime, but there's also just a lot of petty crime. And Batman seems to be targeting a lot more of that petty crime.
Well, you got to start small.
Yeah, you do. It's fair. You know, you got to earn your wings. Pun intended.
Hey-o!
Hey, and so
Good.
You know, and so Knox and Vale they're on the beat. They're going to find out more about this Batman character. So they attend a fundraiser hosted by. He's now a billionaire. He's no longer a millionaire. Billionaire industrialist Bruce Wayne, who. Can I tell you a secret?
Please.
He's Batman.
No.
Yeah. And we find out later in the movie that he's chosen the long game on this, as he, as a child, witnessed his parent. If you don't know the sob story of Batman's history by now, but he witnessed his parents being murdered in the back alley of a theater, and from that moment on, took it upon himself that I am going to be the face of justice. I am going to be that fear in the dark. And so, you know, but again, it's a long game because I imagine it, you know, like, what did he do as a child? Like, when he made that decision, like, you see him out, like, prowling playgrounds, like, beating kids up, hanging them up by their ankles.
Wearing a black garbage bag around his neck.
Right. Going, I'm Batboy. often confused with MC Hammer, I guess. Former Oakland Athletic Batboy.
Yeah, there you go.
And so, but yeah, so Bruce Wayne he's, you know, billionaire industrialist by day, master vigilante by night. But we're the only ones that know that.
Yes, we the audience
you know,
are aware.
We the audience are aware. Knox and Vale are not aware. Commissioner Gordon's not aware. Nobody's aware yet. But again, he's going for that low-hanging fruit, beating up those smaller those smaller criminals.
Yep.
But one thing Bruce Wayne did not know was coming was Vicky Vale. And so he sees Vicky at this fundraiser, and he's absolutely infatuated. But he's interrupted because Gordon had to leave on police business.
Yes.
So, you know, it's really the movie. It's weird how it throws you into the story. Like, it doesn't introduce you to anything. Like, we come in and everything's already happening. Mm-hmm. Grissom's already established, and the city's already it's not in ruins, but it's losing its grip.
Yeah.
And Batman's already out there, and so luckily we already know that. You know, because we know who Batman is. It's 1989. Batman's been around for decades. And so, you know, most people are familiar with the story of Batman. Even if you're not a comic book fan, you know who Batman is. And I don't think it would have worked with, like, if you would have taken this approach with, like, Iron Man, you know, when Marvel kicked off, you know, their cinematic universe, mm-hmm. I don't think it would have worked if they just threw us into the middle of Iron Man without introducing... No, because nobody knew enough about Iron Man to fill in their own blanks.
Yeah.
But this movie, Tim Burton, he has the luxury of doing that because he's working with a story that people know about. So Bruce Wayne, he heads down to the Batcave because he sees Commissioner Gordon has been called away. Because there's a raid on a chemical plant.
Yep. Axis Chemicals.
Axis Chemicals. Grissom sends his second in command, the aforementioned Jack Napier, played by Jack Nicholson, sends him and his cronies to Axis Chemicals to just go there. We find out that really what's going on is Napier is... he's getting real cozy with Grissom's girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's getting real cozy with Grissom's girl. Grissom, he doesn't realize he thinks Grissom doesn't know about it. But really, he sends Napier and his cronies to Axis Chemical Plant. But he also tipped off law enforcement.
Yep, he's got some dirty cops on the roll.
Yeah. Yeah, and they literally, Eckhart is a very dirty cop.
He is. Also, speaking of it's funny you use the word piggy. Yeah, he is dirty, greasy, and slimy. Same actor who played. So Napier and his crew go to Axis Chemicals, set up by Grissom. The police show up, and Napier realizes the jig is up. You know that we're aware that Grissom knows I'm stuck. Law enforcement's got me, but we're not going down without a fight. So Napier thinks
it is he and his crew versus the police, and then dun, 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 guess who shows up? Beetlejuice.
Michael Goo.
So Batman arrives. Gordon. Yeah, well, Eckhart is like, kill them all, because he's got this real deep froggy voice. Gordon, not realizing Gordon and crew are going to show up. So Gordon and his crew show up. Eckhart kind of runs off. I won't say he escapes, but he tries to hide out because Gordon doesn't know he's dirty. So Gordon is like, I want Napier alive.
I think Gordon suspects he's dirty.
Well, yeah, but I don't think Gordon realized he was there for the dirty work. I just think, the police are here.
Sure.
I want him alive. Eckhart kind of slinks away a little bit.
Well, Eckhart's job is basically to kill Napier. So I would agree. Yeah. Gordon doesn't know that.
Yeah. I think he suspects he's dirty, but not like today you're here to do the dirty with my police officers in tow.
Yep.
So, Batman shows up, fights off some goons. He repels himself a lot. He comes down on his wing. It's very, very gothic.
Man on a wire.
Yeah, very, very gothic. He's just, everything's in the shadows and in the smoke. And, Batman, he's there to catch Napier. Napier, who, he pulls a gun and he's got Gordon in his sights. Mm-hmm. But he yells out at Eckhart and shoots him down instead for the double cross.
Yep.
We have a fight between Batman and Napier, and just getting to the good stuff, Napier topples off of the catwalk and falls into an open vat of acid.
I would like to make note that I don't know when the last time OSHA visited this facility. This is not the safest workplace environment.
No, it was 1989 though. This is just post Reagan.
Well, and like the Reagan administration, they did deregulate a lot of this, so I guess that explains it.
Yeah, that's the social commentary of Batman '89.
It's Axis Chemicals being deregulated by the Reagan administration.
Right. Yeah, you got to dig deep under Eckhart and his dirt.
Well, it's like in the firefight, like the cops and the bad guys are just spraying bullets everywhere, and of course it's just pinging through these vats of chemicals, and there's things just oozing out everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. It's not like Axis Chemicals is on the harbor.
Just sweep it out to sea, boys.
It's all right. And so Napier falls and believed to be dead. He falls into a vat of chemicals. Batman is still not a good guy yet, though. We know he's a good guy, but to Gordon and the police, he's
a vigilante.
He's a vigilante. So they... they kind of we're gonna get the jump on him. Of course, Batman just looks left. Well, I won't say he looks left and looks right. He turns left. He turns right.
He takes a handoff from the QB.
Right. He goes in motion, but then he drops a smoke bomb and shoots another one. Where does he keep all these gadgets? He's got the belt. But
where does he get these wonderful toys?
Well, not only that, but Data in Goonies was more believable as a Batman because you actually saw all of the devices on his belt. Whereas Batman's pulling out these grappling hooks left and right, but you don't see where they are. It's like his inventory is like a video game character's inventory.
Yeah, just the endless bag.
Yeah, they have them. They're just, you can't see them.
Well, it's like the Deadpool character in the comics. He has, I forget what it's called, but he has a bag that's like a bottomless bag, and so that's how he brings all of his gear around with him. It's just everything fits in the bag.
It's real tongue in cheek there.
Yeah.
So Napier's presumed dead. Everybody leaves, and we cut scene with Napier's rising white-skinned hand reaching up out of the chemicals with his bright green fingernails, and so he survives. Something has happened. Cut to some more shadowy scenes. We're at this back alley surgeon, apparently.
Sure.
So, which looks like I believe he looks like he uses the same tools that Steve Martin's dentist used in Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
It's just this, like, they do not look like surgical instruments at all. At all.
It's like when Lisa went to the dentist on The Simpsons.
Right.
I call this instrument the gouger. This one is the poker.
So that's what he's working with, and we do a good job we don't. Remember, we didn't work on this movie. Sorry.
We're too busy trying to keep Sean Young in check.
That's true. That was our job. We were the muscle. But Tim Burton does a good job of keeping the reveal under wraps.
Yes.
Napier is not yet the Joker, but we know it's coming. He's in the shadows. He's behind gauze. He's, his back's to us. He looks at himself in the mirror, but we can't see the reflection, those kind of things. So, but yeah, he's gone nuts. Like,
the mirror.
He's lost it. Yeah, he's gone Joker for sure. Calls himself the Joker. He shows up at Grissom's place.
Yeah, he does.
You put Jack Palance in the cast, but he's really not in the movie hardly at all.
No. It's more, I put him in there more for the character and just because it's Jack Palance. And it's fun to reference Jack Palance.
Jack Palance to the Batman universe is like Marlon Brando to the original Superman. Like, he brings some clout, but he's only there for like 10 minutes. So, this is like that night, I'm guessing. Grissom's back in his high rise. Here's a knock on the door. He thinks it's his girl, Alicia. As Alicia Hunt was her name.
Yeah, played by Jerry Hall. I think the one-time wife of Mick Jagger, I think.
Yeah. Good for Nick. So
I'd say good for Jerry.
Harland, if you're still listening, put down in the comments whether or not Jerry Hall was really...
Who's the lucky one in the Mick Jagger-Jerry Hall relationship?
So Grissom thinks his lady's shown up. It's not. It's the Joker still lurking in the shadows. We get, they did a really good job of just setting just enough light into these shadows to where you can make out the facial features. Yeah. But it's not like he's not lit. It's just so cool how they did that. He's not in complete darkness. So, Grissom is murdered. Joker just murders him down. Grissom's assistant or associates, they're all murdered. Everybody, so now there's a new clown in town, and it's the Joker. He's now the one in charge. And he's just nuts. Yeah. Just absolutely nuts.
I love the carnival music that plays as he shoots Grissom.
Oh, he's just having a ball. He's having so much fun. He's shooting over his shoulder, like
between his legs, behind his back.
Yeah, it's just so goofy, so over the top. But yeah, he's having a really good time, killing him many times. He killed him to death. That's how bad he killed him. That's how bad he killed him. So Joker has now taken over the operation, and he's taken it up a level. He's terrorizing Gotham. I won't go as far to say Grissom was really terrorizing the city. The city couldn't stop him. But Joker's out to just terrorize the city.
That's what he does. So he's chaos. That's all he is.
Yeah, and we cut to a couple of news anchors that are broadcasting the news about a couple of very important and popular fashion models that were found dead. They got Joker smiles on their face. They'd been using skincare products, hygiene products that caused them to die. They basically overdosed from the chemicals. And cut to the male anchor as the female anchor starts just laughing hysterically. This was a fun little bit.
I love the sequence with the news anchors.
I do too. Yeah. So, she keels over backwards. She's got the smile. She's died. She's been using the products that are laced with Smilex. We have a Joker commercial chime in as he's in a supermarket doing this just completely overboard shopping. Yeah. And he's trying to smell. They use the old Clutch Cargo. Yeah, Conan O'Brien, moving mouth over a still image.
Love that Joker.
Right. Love that Joker.
Love that Joker.
It cracks me up because then we cut back to the news anchors, and they quit taking care of themselves. Yeah. They quit showering. They quit using deodorant. They got pimples on their faces. Yeah.
frizzy hair. Yeah.
Right, and of course they never announce it. It's just like, if you get the joke, it's funny. This little bit here reminded me, and I've referenced it once, or at least once on the show. It reminds me of those little throwaway gags on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. All those little aside clips when there's one golden ticket left and everybody's looking for it, and like what guy programs an algorithm on his computer. The computer doesn't want to tell him where it is. And you get to another one where, a lady's husband has been kidnapped and all they want as ransom is their box of Wonka bars. And the detective's like, so what are you going to do? And she's like, I'm still thinking. Like, she hasn't decided. Like, they're just like real subtle, almost like a British humor.
Yeah.
And so that's what these reminded me of when they quit, they quit taking care of their hygiene. So Smilex is the Joker's, it's his toxic gas. That's what he's going after. He's going to terrorize the city. This is where, like we kind of talked a little bit earlier, the movie moves forward, but I feel at the same time, like, what's the plot? Like, it's moving, but I think because of Joker's chaos, like, you never really get a feel for, like, what's gonna make him feel like he won.
Yeah.
Like, what's Batman trying to stop him from obtaining? We don't really know because of how chaotic he is.
Well, and essentially, Joker starts to get mad because Batman's getting the publicity.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of when he starts kind of rationing things up, when he starts becoming more aggressive with the Smilex. When he kind of, when we start leaning into the third act and the big parade and all that. Meanwhile, though, the other thing that I think kind of stunts the plot progress here is the both Bruce Wayne's infatuation with Vicky Vale as well as Joker's infatuation.
Right. And that's where I was going next is, the Joker, as he's checking out, were there photos? Yeah, there were photos delivered to Joker, of basically what's going on around Gotham. And he comes across an image of Vicky Vale, and he's just smitten. Like, well, this looks like Kim Basinger.
I will say, wouldn't you be?
Well, considering how dark Gotham was, yeah, probably. I want to know, just thought of this, where does Vicky Vale get her hygiene products? She's
naturalist.
I guess.
Yeah.
She just, her hair naturally is crimped.
Yeah.
Because it's like, the female anchor, like, she quit taking care of herself and looks, very school marmish, but not Vicky.
Mm-mm.
She still looks like $1,000,000.
Still looks like Kim Basinger.
So the Joker is very obsessed with Vicky now. Lures her to, like, Gotham's Museum of Art. Basically, she sets up this plot where, I want you to meet me here, and there's this big runaround where she thinks she's going to meet Bruce, and Bruce isn't obviously in on it, because Joker hasn't put two and two together about Bruce Wayne and Batman, but he has put two and two together. Well, because it's been told to him that Vicky Vale's running around with that guy Bruce Wayne, and so he lures her to the art museum by telling her she's meeting Bruce. Like, she gets an invitation like it's from Bruce. So that's where she shows up. He and his henchmen, like, she's there waiting, and she gets a delivery, and it's this little gas mask that looks like it's
she was waiting a while there too, Oz.
Yeah, well, it's Bruce Wayne. It's not every day, Gotham's most eligible billionaire is showing an interest, and you're just a photojournalist for the Gotham newspaper
who looks like Kim Basinger.
So she gets this box. She opens it up. It's a gas mask that looks like it's made of an everlasting gobstopper.
It's a very bright gas mask.
Yeah. So where did Joker get these made? Who knows?
Oh, he custom makes. I mean, they're in the same color. I mean, where did he get the green and pink bows for the box?
Who knows? Yeah, we'll get to all that stuff later. The necessity of not looking too deep into the movie, because it unravels quickly if you do.
He has his own screen print shop.
That's right. That's well, he's got the paint because
Yeah.
he puts it on his face many times to look human.
Yeah, his flesh colored paint.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy looking.
His
but it's
totally normal looking paint.
Exactly.
This is what a person looks like.
It's Jack Nicholson paint.
Yeah.
So he and his henchmen show up. They destroy all the art. Bruce Wayne's tipped off because Alfred clues him in. He's like, I wasn't meeting Vicky today. So he goes to the art museum as Batman, rescues Vicky, takes her to the Batcave because he likes to. Batman likes to move fast in his relationship.
Yeah, he does.
Just brings her all the way back to the Batcave, gives her all this research on Smilex that he's been doing, so that he can basically get the word out that, hey, you guys got to get out of town because Joker's he's gonna take over. But he's also conflicted with his love and
feelings.
In a very cheesy, he's very, very cheesy as they're like centimeters from each other's face, talking to each other. Vicky and Batman, not Vicky and Bruce. And then he does this goofy, like, raises his left arm with his cape up so that the audience can't see what he's doing behind the cape. Mm-hmm. And then she wakes up in her apartment. So did he drug her? Did he lift that up and then headbutt her really hard so she has to...
Did he choke her with his cape?
Did he kiss her? Like, I don't know, because she doesn't know he's Bruce, so that would be awkward if he did, like, make out with her in full costume.
Well, just long enough to distract her to get her back to her place.
Right. But, and what, sing her a lullaby on the way? Like, she was asleep. She woke up in her apartment. It's just kind of an odd, again, don't dig too deep, folks. Don't dig too deep. And so, where'd I go on my notes? Oh yeah, so he shows up. He shows up to her apartment. I'm gonna come clean. It's like I've been Batman for 3 weeks now. Yeah. But
I gotta tell somebody.
But it's time I tell the one girl I have a crush on. Alfred knows, but that's not enough for me. I need somebody to...
I think it's funny you use the word crush there, because that seems like that's what this is. Like, these are supposed to be grown adults.
Yeah, it's a crush. He has a crush on her. Like, they know nothing about each other. They ate dinner once at a table that... Well, I shouldn't say they don't know anything about each other. They ate dinner in a room that he's never been in, at a table that is, like, very, like, medieval. Like... I'm pretty sure it's the table that Jesus and his apostles took a picture around, were painted by. So it's like, it's just kind of a fun little gag of, can you pass the salt?
What?
Like Bruce Wayne couldn't spring for 2 salt shakers at a table that size. There's just one.
I mean, deep, how do you think he remains? That's how he remains a billionaire. You gotta be thrifty where you can be thrifty.
That's true. If you spend it, you don't have it. So yeah, he saves his money by just passing the salt.
He just, when he goes out to restaurants, to fast food restaurants, he just takes the extra salt packets.
Just the packets.
Just the packets. He's got a whole cupboard full of mustard packets as well.
Makes me think of a prank that back in junior high, a group of us sometimes would talk our parents into letting us go to Pizza Hut by ourselves. So there'd be like 6 or 7 of us boys. And it was inevitable that at some point everybody was going to get up and go to the jukebox or go to the bathroom or whatever. And I remember there was one outing, I don't remember which friend it was, but he had the idea of like, hey, while everybody's gone, let's unscrew the lid to the Parmesan cheese and just set it on top. Because this is back when Pizza Hut had like the jars of Parmesan cheese on the table.
It's great stuff.
And so it was inevitable that whoever wanted Parmesan on their pizza would pick it up and dump the entire contents of the Parmesan onto their slice of pizza because we unscrewed the lid so that the lid would fall off and all the cheese would fall out. But it was funny. It was funny. So I was just thinking like, of him stealing the salt packets from the restaurants he goes to. So my brain's a little all over the place today, but that's okay. But he shows up and he's going to tell Vicky he's Batman, but he can't. He just keeps tripping over his words.
Yep.
Then the doorbell rings. And as she gets up, that's when he's like miming to the chair. I'm Batman. Like,
just
why is
say
it.
it.
So hard for me
just
to tell?
say it, dummy.
Right. Because it's like, because Bruce Wayne, it's a really stupid idea that you're going to tell her what your secret identity is. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm Batman.
Hey, Crush, I'm going to put your life in danger.
I got some news that might be worthy of third base. I'm Batman.
By the way, for folks out there, if you're looking for an easy way to get to third base at an early date, just tell them you're Batman.
Just tell people you're Batman. And then get up and leave real quick.
Yeah.
So make it believable. Just pretend you got, it's just emergency. Just run away, tell them you're Batman and run off. And next time you're together, 3-bagger for sure.
For sure. That's what we call a Grissom special.
Right. That's right. You'll Juan Pierre that one.
Juan Pierre.
He's the fast one. He's an easy triple.
He was. Juan Pierre.
King of the triple.
A Louis Castillo.
Right. Yeah, you got a triple in your future.
What other late 90s, early aughts baseball players we pull out of our rear ends?
Otis Nixon.
There you go.
He
can leg him out. Otis can leg him out with the best of them.
Yeah. He's all poor cooked up Otis Nixon.
Oh, well, yeah.
He looked rough. Like there was no mistaking what Otis did at night.
Oh yeah, his baseball cards always stood out a little bit more from the others.
It's like they shot him from afar, like Marla Hooch in the League of Their Own.
That's not talcum powder he's putting on the bat, folks.
Yeah, what did Deion Sanders do? What was his other gig? Oh, he played professional football. About Otis Nixon. You know that song, White Lines?
Yeah, that was about Otis Nixon. It was about a double meaning though, because he would run down the line. The white line in baseball really fast, and then he would snort it.
That's why he was so good at baseball. he's got 2 foul lines, and he's like, "Oh, eureka!" If I run fast enough, I could get the other one on the way home.
How come they don't chalk between first and second?
Could you do that for me, please?
That's why he would always stop at third base because you'd see the chalk and just.
Otis Nixon robs himself of another inside the park homer.
Yep,
he's just crawling home.
He stopped to snort the third base line. Otis, if you're watching, comment down below.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you suffer from substance abuse, please call the substance abuse hotline.
Yes,
it's not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny.
But it was in the late. If you're a mid to late 90s brave.
Yes. Or if you just find the visual of someone snorting a baseball line full of powder. Yes.
Well, at least he was just hurting himself. It wasn't like he was Dave Justice or anything.
Oh, that took a turn.
Shots fired.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, back to Batman. And so, as Bruce Wayne is there, he's Bruce Wayning it. He's at Vicky's apartment. Joker showed up, didn't realize, you've got a man over. Bruce Wayne sees what thankfully is not an aluminum serving plate as he good thing that wasn't like pewter. Glad it was pure silver.
It was just some Reynolds wrap folded over 3 times.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a plastic dish my mom had, but we spray painted it silver. But so Joker shows up. Bruce was gonna basically Joker interrupts them now as Batman interrupted Joker's date with Vicky. Joker's now interrupted Bruce Wayne's date with Vicky. And right before he shoots Bruce Wayne, he asks him if he's ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight. As Bruce is kind of like, what? And even Joker's like, I just like the way it sounds. Yeah. And then shoots him dead. Shoots Bruce Wayne dead.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the reference that we made that I think got in the way of the plot there was Bruce, while before Joker entered the room, grabbed a piece of like a small serving platter.
Yeah.
That apparently was made of adamantium.
Yeah. It was bulletproof.
Yeah.
It was for sure. But so Joker shoots Bruce Wayne, quote unquote, dead. Vicky is, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird scene where Joker and his henchmen are there, shoots Bruce Wayne. He's now lying dead in the corner. The Joker is then backing up. Like, Vicky's looking at the Joker, can't believe what just happened. She's in shock. The Joker and his henchmen are backing out the door, closes the door. Vicky turns around and Bruce is gone. Even as I watched it, this time I'm like, surely, like, how did the Joker not see him get up? Like, he backed up to the door. He could see Bruce Wayne the entire way to the door. And in the split second after the door closes and Vicky turns around, like, Bruce went where? It's like, where's he at? Did he lock himself in the bathroom and was trying to crawl out the window? Like, where did Bruce go? I don't know.
He's around.
Don't dig too deep, folks. And so, but that phrase of the Joker's, it
some clicked with Bruce. Yeah,
it reignited a spark in Bruce's brain. That wait a minute, I've heard that phrase before. Realizes it's the catchphrase the mugger that shot his parents said right before he murdered them. And so now leads us to Bruce reminiscing of his parents' murder. Now he's put two and two together. Jack Napier was the man that shot my parents. Jack Napier is the Joker. I now know. I mean, he knew it anyway, but it's like the Joker killed my parents. So now, as if Bruce Wayne being a vigilante wasn't enough, now it's personal. Vicky's back at the Batcave. Alfred just brought her straight.
Yeah, he just brings her there. So sorry, no 3-bagger for you, Bruce.
No, well, who knows? She doesn't know yet. Maybe Alfred got the triple.
Yeah,
it is Kim Basinger.
It is, yeah, Michael Goo.
We've seen what Kim Basinger can do in 9.5 weeks. So Alfred just needed about 3.5 minutes, and I'm sure he was fine. So Alfred just brought her straight to the Batcave.
Brings her there.
He must have realized, well, Master Bruce was going to tell her anyway. So Alfred, I think Alfred really liked, like, the human side of Bruce that Vicky Vale brought out.
Yeah.
Because it was basically like in every other Batman story. Bruce Wayne is the secret identity. He's really Batman. He not really moonlights. I guess he daylights as Bruce Wayne.
Bruce is the mask.
Right. Bruce is the mask. Batman is the real personality there. But with Vicky around Alfred, it brings a little bit of sentiment, a little bit of personality, a little bit of feeling and emotion out of it.
Humanity.
Because he's been reluctant to be close to anybody because, of course, he watched his parents get murdered. So he's not the billionaire playboy that the Christian Bale movies lead you to believe. So, well, the jig is up. Vicky now knows Bruce and Batman are the same. And so he does tell her that he just, because of the Joker, I can't put the energy into our relationship. It turned into it's a love story now. So I have got to take the joke. I got to take care of the Joker. The Joker's using the Axis chemical plant to make Smilex. If I go take care of the chemical plant, then in turn I could take care of the Joker, and we could be together. Because crime will stop, apparently.
That's how it works.
That's all it was. And so the Joker he's gone on the air and he's like interrupted the Mayor and Commissioner Gordon's press conference, and he's promised the Gotham citizens that I'm throwing a parade because I care about you, and I will be dropping $200 million on from above. I'll be dropping it onto the citizens of Gotham because you guys deserve it. And so that gets everybody in Gotham out on the streets. Because the Joker has $200 million and nobody else has any money, so he's going to drop them. And apparently, it looked like he's dropping them in like 20s. Like, there were a lot of bills up there.
Yeah, there was.
So everybody's at the parade, and the Joker has tricked them all. He's got balloons that are filled with Smilex gas.
Yep.
He's gonna gas the entire town. Everybody's they're gonna die. Vicky sniffs it out. She's taking some close-up pictures and she sees the valves. So she's like, he's got the gas. He's going to kill everybody. She actually goes like Kim Basinger for a moment. He's going to kill everybody.
Knox tries to have a little hero moment.
Tries to.
Yeah.
I like how I like the little like karate chop of the trunk of his car.
Robert Wool thought that he's turned into like Sly Stallone there for a moment.
Yeah, here I come. I'm coming. He's Johnny from Roadhouse. There's his moment. So Vicky, she remembers she gets the mask and the Joker, but Batman shows up in the Batplane.
Yeah, he does.
He swoops in and he takes the balloons and lets them loose out above the city, and now he's really made Joker mad.
He stole my balloons.
He naked American man stole my balloons. So Batman comes flying back through, opens fire on the Joker, who's standing right in the middle of the road. Actually, at first he's so mad that he shoots his right-hand man, Bob.
Yeah, he does. Poor Bob.
Yeah, he's so mad. He shoots Bob the Goon. Batman comes flying in with the Batplane. He can't. How did he not hit the Joker?
His targeting system must have been off. Something like that.
Joker pulls out the longest gun, the longest revolver ever, out of his pant leg.
I love that moment. The gun just keeps going.
I know. It's like the chain. It's basically the chain gag from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, when he's pulling all the chain out to tie up his bike.
The bike chain.
Yeah. The only difference is like Tim Burton learned his lesson and like position the camera up just enough that you don't see the never-ending chain coming from the bottom.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, he keeps pulling this gun out with one shot, takes down the Batplane, grabs Vicky Vale, runs into a cathedral, takes her to the top because basically you're my girl.
Yeah.
And if I can't have you, no one will. Batman's at it. Really cool shot, Dutch angle overhead when the doors open and Batman comes walking in.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool shot. Batman gets to the top and they have their little fight. Batman punches him in the face and he falls, or he hits the bell, falls to his death. I guess we live happily ever after. Oh, no, not yet. I'm jumping the gun here. Go ahead.
Say, after Batman has to defeat some of Joker's goons who somehow got up there, and
it was in the plan,
and one of whom beat the you-know-what out of Batman.
Yeah, he did.
Batman took some shots from that one guy. Batman goes after Joker, punches him in the face a couple of times. Joker does a couple of fun Joker gags. Like, you wouldn't hit a man with glasses, would you?
He did.
So he punches Joker. Joker seemingly falls off the building. However, his hands come up and grab both Kim Basinger. I call her Vicky Vale. Grabs Kim Basinger and Batman and pulls them off. So now the tables have turned and he's standing on the ledge. They're both holding on for dear life. And his helicopter escort comes in, Oz.
Yeah. And so it's painted green. It's the Joker copter. I think that Jack Nicholson had seen 66 Joker and realized if Batman can have a helicopter, so can I.
Yeah.
So as the Joker is on the Joker ladder, as he's being pulled away and his henchmen are like, come on up, he starts climbing the ladder. Batman's got one more trick up his sleeve as he shoots another grappling hook that grabs both the Joker and a gargoyle. So then Joker now pulls the gargoyle off of the building.
Uh-oh.
They just sit there. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They're
not affixed to anything. It's just gravity holding it down.
It's an ornament.
Yeah.
It can be.
It just sits. You just place it right there, and then you're done.
And so they're light enough that they can basically be kicked over.
Yeah.
It takes just a couple 100 pounds of pressure to move one.
That's it.
So it's tied to Joker's leg. It's now weighing him down. Joker's really strong because apparently this gargoyle is heavy, but he's holding it up for quite a while.
Well, as is that little dinky rope ladder too that he was climbing.
Right. Yeah, the Joker ladder was pretty impressive, but Joker loses his grip, falls from great heights. Batman and Vicky also fall from great heights as they're rappelling down. Batman's got yet one more grappling hook. Shoots it up. This time, this grappling hook is strong enough to hold her weight. We have an instant, kind of a fun little joke earlier where Vicky and Batman are trying to escape the goons, and he asks Vicky what she weighs. She's like, like 108, and apparently she was lying about her weight, and you know, Batman body shames her for it later.
Yeah, he body shames her. 108, right? Yeah.
Like, okay. And I think there was a deleted scene where she gets a gift of a new like high tech body scale from Bruce Wayne, bat scale,
a thigh master and a gym membership.
Right.
Put these to use, Vicky.
You need to meet my friend Suzanne Summers.
You're not getting in the cave until you drop until you drop 15.
There's no room in this car for you at your 108. And so, you know, they live, of course. Commissioner Gordon announces that all the Joker's men have been arrested. All of them. Including the one that Batman blew up at the Axis Chemical Company. And he reveals that Batman has provided a bat signal.
Yes.
So now they're besties now. Gordon and Batman are besties. Just, hey, all you got to do is flash this in, because it's always overcast in Gotham. Yeah. So it's easy. I'll see it.
There's always something for the light to bounce off of.
Yeah. There's no crime during a clear sky day.
Because they don't happen.
Nope. Harvey Dent reads a note from Batman, says that, hey, I'm on Gotham's side. Crime strikes again. Use the bat signal. I'll be there. Alfred takes Vicky back to Wayne Manor. Explains they'll be a little late. She's not surprised now that she knows he's Batman. And she looks out and sees the signal. And we realize that, you know, Batman is just standing on top of super duper tall buildings with his extremely good vision, just looking for crime from the rooftop. I thought Gotham was a little bigger than that.
I think it was only like 3 stories off the ground.
I think so.
It kind of looked like some paint scaffolding that he was standing on.
Right. And ladies and gentlemen, that is 1989's Batman. I got real long-winded on
there. It is. Oh, well, hey, folks, at this point in the show, Oz and I each give our own unique rating to the film we've been talking about, in this case, 89's Batman. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
I would give this flick a fresh copy of the Batman soundtrack with all the Prince songs.
There you go.
Yeah.
A fresh cassette.
Yeah, a fresh cassette. So how about you?
I'm going to give this 87 million fanboys who are angry that Batman's vehicles has guns. Batman wouldn't use guns. His parent died by guns, so he doesn't use guns. And his plane and his car had guns. That's not my Batman. Hashtag not my Batman.
Thanks, Internet, for giving me this platform.
Thanks for ruining Batman for me, because he used guns.
Batman. He hates guns.
Just like the new Lord of the Rings show on Amazon. There's no black hobbits.
No, there's no way. There's no way that my real racism should be affected by this fictional world. I love how that... Yeah, I do like that argument. There's no black hobbits.
Because there are no hobbits.
Right. Hobbits are real, but black hobbits aren't.
No. J.R.R. Tolkien wouldn't have wanted it that way.
I will extend my disbelief to the reality of elves, but I cannot go to a black elf. It just ain't real.
Oh, these fanboys. They get me, Oz. They get me.
They need third base is what they need.
Well, my guess is they've never had to sprint out a single at any point.
No. We just gave them some romance tips. Tell some lady you're Batman. There you go.
Minimum third base.
And if it doesn't work out, I'm sure we'll read about it online anyway.
We
got a love tip from Oz and Curtis, and all I had to do is tell a girl I'm Batman, and I'm gonna, get to third, and it didn't work.
At the very least, you and Otis Nixon can have a good time.
There you go. There you go.
Next up in the rundown, for those who don't know who Otis Nixon is, by the way, he was an 80s and early 90s baseball player known for running really, really fast and doing a lot of drugs.
Yes, yeah. Center field, most prominently known center fielder for the Atlanta Braves.
Yes.
Co-center fielder.
Yes.
I feel like the I was a big Braves fan back then because I didn't watch because they were on TBS.
Yeah, they had the Superstation.
Yeah, and so I watched it. I was a big fan. Ryan Klesko.
Oh yeah.
And the boys, Terry Pendleton and Jeff Blauser and Mark Lemke.
Blauser.
I love those guys. But it feels like looking back now, I feel like every position for the Braves was a platoon position. It just felt like they were like, you got 9 on a field. It seems like the Braves had 14 different names. Like, you know, Ryan Klesko, you have Fred McGriffin there. Like I said, you know, Dave Justice, I mentioned Pendleton, Lemke, Blauser, you know, Javier Lopez behind the plate. Like,
Javi Lopez.
It just seemed like there was just, you know, this was all like pre-Chipper Jones even. It just seemed like this, like, because I was a fan, it's like, it just, you know, but I'm also like that, like, pre-teen fan where, like, I wasn't into girls, so I had to be into what I liked. And so, like, I knew everything about the Braves. I remember I even put a Dave Justice Donruss rookie card on layaway at our local card shop.
Donruss layaway.
I did. They had a layaway program.
Did you pay for it with a personal check?
No, it's $30. I came in every week or so and would put a little money on it. And I had it.
There's your Donruss card.
I also did the same thing with a Lou Brock. I think it was a Lou Brock rookie card.
Ooh.
I no longer have them. Of course, they were lost in a flood at my mom's house.
Oh,
yeah.
R.I.P. to that Donruss card. All right, folks. Next up, we got Outside Insights, where Oz and I each bring an unprofessional review that we have found somewhere on the interwebs for your listening and or viewing pleasure. Oz, what is your outside insight for this week?
Mine is a extremely recent one. It is a 5-star review by DMSR93 written yesterday.
Yesterday? Wow.
Yesterday on Letterboxd.
Somebody just found 1989's Batman yesterday.
5-star review.
Okay.
Pretty short. If you ask me, the best Batman flick. Burton plus Prince. Thumbs up emoji. Pray emoji.
That's what you get out of this movie. Tim Burton and Prince are the biggest
Batman movie.
Best Batman. Burton and Prince.
Burton plus Prince. Thumbs up.
Yep, that's all you need.
Thumbs up and pray emoji. Yeah, 5 stars. How about you? What do you got?
My outside insight comes from IMDb, which I think is kind of where most of mine come from. I find myself usually going there.
I keep pulling from Letterboxd, so I think it's fair.
This is Lee of Wine _Draca16 writes.
Oh, I saw his. No, I didn't.
Writes, am I the only person who doesn't like this movie? I mean, everywhere I look, I see undeniably positive reviews of the film. That is not to say I didn't like it at all, as Tim Burton is a skilled director who always puts a lot of style into his movies and makes them watchable. But I'd much rather sit through X-Men again than watch this over-the-top, supposedly epic movie ruined by the dreadful spectacle of Jack Nicholson. I guess I'll just have to admit that this film is one of my blind spots.
What happens when a toad gets struck by lightning? But this is over the top.
Yeah. I'd rather be watching X-Men. Again.
My favorite line in that, though, was the everywhere I look, I see positive reviews.
Yeah, everywhere.
In my kitchen cabinets.
My Rolodex at work.
The produce aisle at the grocery store.
My kid's back to school shopping list.
Even in movie reviews of movies pre-'89.
Yeah.
I was watching Lawrence of Arabia, and he just kept talking about how great this Batman movie was.
Gene Hackman in The Apartment was talking about how bad this movie was. By the way,
go ahead. Finally got around to reading the Declaration of Independence, and it just wouldn't shut up about Batman.
And how great it was.
Right. Have these people not seen X-Men?
I mean, come on. By the way, this was a 4 out of 10 review.
Oh, fair enough.
4 out of 10, yeah.
Hate this movie.
Yeah, 4 out of 10. Okay.
Everywhere I look.
Everywhere. It's taped to the inside of my glasses.
Close my eyes and it's right there.
Right
tattooed
there.
on my eyelids. I dream about positive reviews of this movie.
I told a date the other day that Batman, and she just started talking about how great it was.
I thought I was getting triple. I was just lonely, and then she just kept talking.
Talking about how great Batman was.
Right. Didn't you love Nicholson? Oh, my.
Oh, and we're at our signature segment, folks. That time of the show for the 3-2-1, where Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about the film we've been talking about. In this case, 1989's Tim Burton directed Batman. Oz, what are your 3 goods? Batman.
My first one.
Batman. Good.
My first one is just the Tim Burton effect. Like,
yeah.
This movie is crafted and molded out of his Tim Burton clay. There's no doubt about it. It's not a Batman movie. It's a Tim Burton movie about Batman.
Well,
like, that's really the
Joker died with like a cliche Burton prop, a gargoyle.
Oh yeah. It's like
it may have well tethered him to Edward Scissorhands.
Right. Even the faces on the balloons are just straight out of Tim Burton. Like it's Tim Burton all over the place, and I love it for it because it is what it is. I love this era of Burton from, let's call it Pee-wee's Big Adventure, through Big Fish.
Yeah, it's like campy goth.
Yeah, and it's just fun, and so that's my first good, Tim Burton. Mm-hmm. 2, I'm probably stealing this one from you, Danny Elfman's score.
Yep.
The score of this movie, Burton and Elfman, even though this is only their second movie together, second or third or whatever, they're just match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Those two, Elfman's quirkiness and Burton's quirkiness are like the real movie marriage of this movie. So Elfman's score was just brilliant. Hit where it was supposed to, goofy when it's supposed to. I love Danny Elfman. I love Mark Mothersbaugh. Those two are you can have your Howard Shores and your John Williams, and they're great too. But those guys are, they're right up there as well.
Well, they're also both in rock bands too.
They were both in rock bands, yeah. So we've got Oingo Boingo and
Devo, Mark Mothersbaugh.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, Mothersbaugh is Devo. And so my third one is and I put it in the goods, and let me explain why. Sometimes when you watch a movie and you overthink certain plot elements and it just unravels, I had a lot of fun overthinking this movie. like it just little things like, Batman's airplane can't hit the Joker. Standing there by himself, can't hit the Joker. You don't overthink it. Joker carrying that leg length gun in his pants, but he wasn't straight leg walking anywhere. Yeah. That should have been a big red flag. Batman's grappling hook can't carry Vicky Vale, but the same grappling hook can carry a gargoyle. Even Bruce Wayne wearing Levi jeans to me just seemed off.
You don't believe Bruce Wayne can pull off 501s?
It just didn't fit. And they were red tag. They weren't silver tag jeans. These were the red tag. But just I noticed that Bruce Wayne's wearing a sweater and you're a billionaire. Billionaires, they dress that way, but you just don't get the feel that he's supposed to. A back alley plastic surgeon that actually has business. At the end when we see Joker fly off the ledge and then reach, he falls a long way. Yeah. We're led to believe he falls. And then landed flat-footed on the ledge that we can't see, reaches up with 2 hands and pulls 2 people off of it. And it's I saw that I finished it up this morning and I'm like, there's no way Joker, he fell. The amount of buildings shown below when he fell was probably a good 8 to 10 feet of building, and then suddenly Joker's right there. So those little things. I had a lot of fun watching this movie and purposely overanalyzing things, just because because those things you have to ignore, you have to forgive them, and that's why it was fun. It was just forcing myself to be silly.
Yes.
So those are my goods. What about you?
I'm going to start with Michael Keaton's eye and torso acting. Very specific acting talent that Keaton has, because that suit was entirely thick rubber, so he couldn't move his head. He couldn't he couldn't move his arms much. So there's a notable little shot towards the end when they're up in the cathedral called the hero turn, where Joker taunts him, and instead of just turning his head, he has to turn his entire torso around. And it
it's
works.
like a 180.
Yeah, and it works.
Oh, it's so awesome.
And like sitting in the Batmobile, like, you know, like Vicky's talking to him and you just see his eyes move. Like he's just looking dead ahead with the exception of his eyes moving. And it works.
Yeah.
So like less is more with Keaton because he had to.
Yeah.
So
and we obviously know he can ramp it up. I mean, we saw him. He even asked if we wanted to get nuts.
Yeah.
So
let's get nuts. I
think he was. Yeah. Do you think he was singing a Prince song when he said that? Let's go crazy. Let's get nuts.
I think so. I think he was referencing Prince.
My wife gets irritated because every time I don't get me wrong, I love Prince, but every time I hear that song, I always feel like Prince should have opened, like how Chicago has Nuts on Clark.
Yeah.
Like Prince should have opened a chain of
upscale nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. Just called Let's Get Nuts.
Let's Get Nuts.
I just thought it'd be funny. She doesn't think it's so funny anymore.
Well, it would work. It would work well with his chain of private asylums called Let's Go Crazy.
Let's Go Crazy. Yeah.
My second good. We're all over the place this week.
Who cares?
Well, I mean, it works.
Yeah, it's fun.
It works with this movie too.
We had a Labor Day family get together,
yeah.
and I had one of my family members. On my wife's side, we're in line, and he just went, "Hey, Mike," and I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Good job on the podcast." I'm like, "Oh, you listen?" He goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, "It's my kind of movies and my kind of humor," and I'm like, "Oh, cool. We found our other listeners."
Yeah, we got him. There you are.
So Don S, Melissa L, and my family member. So
there you go.
Thanks, guys.
I had a no. Going back, also, I'll beat you there as well, or meet you there as well. I had one of the teachers. Beat you, meet you, whatever.
No,
whatever. One of the teachers I work with. This was after we did the Slapshot episode. Comes up to me. And he's like, "Yeah, I listened to your Slapshot episode. I loved it." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man."
Nice. Yeah. You got 45 more to listen to there, pal.
I know. Yeah. Let me know when you're caught up.
Right. Do you want us to take a break for a while so you can catch up?
Yeah.
We can do that.
we can do that. Whatever you want.
We'll do that for our listeners.
We're still on number 2, I think. My second good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the gadgets in the movie, like the gadgets, the toys. Where does he get those wonderful toys? There's so many wonderful toys in this movie. Right. Whether it be his like
Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium,
his double-sided like harpoon repelling gun.
Right, that he can only use at one time.
Yeah,
but he only needs it that one time.
Exactly.
So he's ready. He's a man of preparation.
Or like
which I get to later.
Or whether it be like the armor, like the armor that the Batmobile puts around itself.
Oh right.
And drops.
That was cool. I just thought that was cool.
Was that stop motion animation? It almost looked stop motion-y.
Yeah, it was stop motion. Because he used some regular like hand drawn animation early on when there's like an overshot of Batman on a ledge. And he turns around and walks in, and it's very like Batman the Animated Series feeling.
Yeah,
like I know that was like animation, but yeah, this was stop motion. Yeah. The shields of the car,
his like steel gauntlets that he like that one guy who like did like backflips and like swords and stuff. Yeah. Like he's using those to like to defeat that guy. Just all the cool gadgets in the movie. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that guy was the one guy that got out of Little China after Jack Burton left. He moved to Gotham to bring his style of martial art. He opened a dojo. He was trying to do right, but Batman, he needed to work nights, so Batman shut him down.
I'm gonna fit this one into gadgets as well. Otherwise, I'd have 4 goods. But I love the sound of the Batwing descending out of the sky. I don't know what it is. It's cool just sound. It's just the Batwing coming down. And my last good are just all the memorable lines in the movie. There's so many great lines. As he's berating the corpse of Carl Grissom. Jack, you're my number one.
He was full on Nicholson for sure.
Yes,
there's no denying that.
Yeah. If you gotta go with a smile. Like there's so many great lines in the movie. There we go. Oz, what are your 2 bads?
It's odd that I say this, but my first bad is I didn't feel like we were still watching Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. I don't feel like those two really lost themselves in the characters. You know, when it was Bruce Wayne was Michael Keaton. It wasn't like Batman was probably the best acting he did in the movie. The rest of the time, he was just being Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
you know, and the same with Nicholson. It's like we just threw some paint on him and let him be Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
like that's what I felt I was watching. It's just because, especially with Nicholson, like his aura is just so huge that you know, and we're teased by it too, because it's like Cesar Romero he wasn't really a big name, and so you know it was still Adam West's show, and of course we all know you know how great Heath Ledger was in the Nolan Batman film. You know, it's like you weren't watching. That's not the same guy from Brokeback Mountain. That's not the same guy from Knight's Tale. That's not the same guy. It's like you were watching the Joker. With this, we were watching Nicholson.
Yeah.
And it was fine. But that was my first bad is
sure.
I don't feel like they lost themselves in their characters. They were still being themselves. And my second one was Batman straight up killed all those goons when he blew up the Axis chemical plant.
Yep.
Like he pulls up, they all open fire around him. The shields are up. A couple of arms come out, drops bombs, and then the whole place explodes. And the Batmobile drives away. Like Batman murdered all of those henchmen.
Yeah. And again, you get your 87 million fanboys. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Batman wouldn't kill. My Batman wouldn't do that. My Batman wouldn't put guns on his plane.
And so, yeah, so it's like Batman just straight murdered. But at the same time, when the police rushed the Axis chemical plant earlier, the police were opening fire without any hesitation.
Yeah.
So apparently that's just how law enforcement works in Gotham City, especially during the Grissom Joker, you know, reign of terror. So that's my second bad. Is it's like, Batman, like, you just killed everybody. But Arkham Asylum hadn't been built yet, so
there you go.
No place to put them. So what are your two bads?
I'm going to combine two possibilities into one here. I'm going to start with Kim Basinger and Robert Wool. Robert Wool, again, is just Robert Wool, and that's fine. Okay, you know, he's got a 1930s reporter hat on and cool, and then he's Robert Wool. And Kim Basinger, I mean, they're not, neither of them are known for their acting talents. You know,
who would you put there?
Basinger, I don't know, Sean Young.
But it's like in that era, it's like, who would you put?
Well,
there?
I know I was reading in the trivia that at the time Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer were dating, and they agreed that it just wouldn't work if she was playing that role. And then ironically, they break up, and a few years later, yeah.
Well, we say ironically, it wouldn't surprise me at all if that was a little vindictive too.
Sure.
Not of either one of them, but of like, hey, they split up. This would be sweet if we had them as villains of each other. Mm-hmm. You know, like, because there'd be just some extra grudge there.
I don't know, Gina Davis. You can see Gina Davis in a role like that, maybe.
I could see Gina Davis.
Yeah,
I could definitely see Gina.
Trying to think
Davis
of actresses in that era.
You know, it's like, you know, like pretty, but believable.
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah, maybe.
Yeah. My other bad would be the scene, going back to the scene in Vicky's apartment, where Bruce is trying to tell her that, you know, I'm Batman. And he gets a little, there's a little cringe moment there where
I like you, but shut up.
Yeah, he explicitly says shut up and then pushes her down.
Yeah, right.
Be better, Bruce. Be better.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Entitled rich white man. You don't push women.
Right.
Sorry.
No. Even if you're a poor white man, you don't push women.
Yeah, that's also true.
We're only speaking to you billionaires out there.
Yeah, touche. Oz, what's your one
My revolves around Bruce's plan for Batman. Now, remember, when this movie started, Batman was, like, as a vigilante in his infancy. Like, the police didn't know anything about him. Like, really, he was just this almost like... He was almost a myth among the villain, you know, among the criminals of Gotham. You know, he was just this shadowy figure, and so he was a nobody. But man, was he prepared! Like Bruce's plan for Batman was full on, I'm going to invest in everything that I need first.
Yes. For every possibility, every eventuality. Hey, one of these days I'm going to need a double-sided harpoon repeller gun.
Right. Like, because he had it all first. Like, even, like, Spider-Man's origin story, he throws on some sweatpants and a ski cap, a ski mask, and goes fight crime. Like, Batman's like, oh, no, I got the cave, I got my Batmobile, I got my plane, I got my suit, I got my gadgets. Like, and all this before he starts fighting crime.
Yes.
Like, so I guess my on top of all of it is, how do you buy a Batmobile and a Batplane without having your identity revealed?
Maybe custom makes it. Maybe Alfred's...
But by himself? Mm-hmm. He's an industrialist.
Coming from the guy who just before was like, yeah, you got to throw disbelief to the side.
I know, but it's like, that was my hug, because I was just... Yeah. It was like... Now, had this been, like, Batman, like... Let's put it like we're talking about next week's movie,
yes.
Where like we have his origin, but he's like we see the behind the scenes of all of this stuff.
How he gets the Batmobile, and
and even though they're little scenes, like at least we check those boxes. For here, it's like, okay, day one, I'm ready. Like, anything life throws at me, I'm prepared. And
I think that this version of Batman may have OCD.
A little bit, you think?
That would explain why he touches all four walls in the room 3 times each before he goes after the bad guy.
Those bats get really mad as he flips the switch several times before leaving. And so that's my It's just the amount of prep work he puts into his plan before executing it. So.
I'm just thinking of the bats, like shielding their eyes from the light. Come on, man.
And plus, like, he keeps a bat in a bird cage.
Yeah.
In the bat, like, what did that bat do? Is he punished? Because the ceiling is full of bats, but he's got a favorite bat that he keeps in a little cage.
Maybe he's being publicly shamed. Maybe he pooped on the Batmobile or something.
Yeah. That's enough guano for you. That's it. Yeah, you're in timeout. What's your
let's go. Oh god, I got 2 possibilities here. Let's go with how did Joker's goons already get in the cathedral tower? Like he grabs Vicky, like the Batwing crashes into the stairs of the cathedral, and then Vicky comes up and Joker grabs her, and I'm gonna need a helicopter ride for 2 into his CB. And then
I heard him say, "I'm Batman too."
Yeah. Score.
Works every time.
Rounded second hard. And then he looks up at the tower and he's like, "Yeah, 10 minutes." And like, so you get the impression that no one has been in the building yet.
Right.
He makes his way up there, and the goons are already waiting for Batman. So,
yeah.
Again, in my refusal to suspend disbelief, how did they get up there?
The helicopter dropped them off early.
Maybe the Joker is also equally OCD. Yeah, like I've got to seed thugs in every building for a 2-mile radius around this parade site, and the eventuality that we might end up in that building.
Just in case Batman sweeps in with his bat blade, steals my balloons, guns me down, I gun him down, then he crash lands at the foot of this building, I gotta make sure people are upstairs.
Yes, yeah.
Because I can't field this guy myself.
No, of course. I need 2 guys. I need one guy to jump through the floor and fall to his death. And I need another guy who can hold his own until Batman bonks him on the head with a bell.
Yeah. As long as I got that plan, I'm good.
Yeah. And that, folks, is 1989's Batman. As we continue our Batman month, what do we have in store next week?
Next week is your week. What are you bringing to the table?
It is my week. I am bringing...
is
next week. Me talk... Me talk good word guy. Next week, we are bringing the next chronological version of Bruce Wayne, because, disclaimer, the Keaton, Kilmer, and Clooney versions of Batman are all the same version.
Yes,
so,
they're all in the same lineage of story.
It's all that universe's Batman. So we're skipping ahead to, I believe it's 2005. I'm doing this off the top of my head.
I think so.
Batman Begins, the first of the Christian Bale trilogy of Batman movies. So
I would think it's fun watching them get creative with titles. Like, what we're going to do for our third Batman is we're going to call it Begins.
Batman, the next one.
Right. The motion picture. Batman the Flamethrower.
So yes, next week, Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. We get the least gravelly voice version of Christian Bale's performances.
Swear to me.
Tell me I'm Batman.
This is really hard at the vocal cords.
I'm gonna have to gurgle.
Does anyone have any Listerine?
Could use a lozenge. Ricola.
I think later in life, that version of Batman has to use one of those like vocalizer things that like
tracheotomy.
I am Batman.
It's still gravelly. Oh man. Well, yeah, we will be back next week. More hijinks will ensue.
Oh yeah, more early '80s Atlanta Braves references.
Right. So make sure you tune in next week. Same Bat podcast, same Bat time. No, you know where to find us on social media. You know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. YouTube is where we love to hang out and show you our faces and all of my chins I have going on down here. I hate this video format sometimes. No, we wrap it up another week, and for Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
And we'll see you next week.